lolcowgirl.net. Detracting made easy.
Look juicy, don't they? Juicy Hugo's. See if it's juicy. Well, it's a little moist. It will be just as good, just as juicy, and just as tender without boiling it. It's soft, it's juicy, and juicy inside. It makes it really juicy, basically. Let's check juicy fruit out next. How juicy and moist that is. Look at how juicy that is. It's way wet.
It's still juicy.
More flavor to me.
It's very juicy still. I thought it would be drier.
Mm-hmm. The Juicy Lucy burger. And there's your Juicy Lucy. I guess what they call them, Juicy Lucy.
That person says, I thought, and they're referring to the Juicy Lucy burger episode, and the person writes, I thought they were spelled Juicy Lucy, juicy being J-U-C-Y, Lucy, and not correctly, it's incorrectly spelled. Anyway, the whole myth is this. The Juicy Lucy burger started in Minnesota. There were 2 bars that claimed to have made Juicy Lucy burgers first. The Juicy Lucy burger. It's just 2 burgers pressed together with stuff in between, guys. Relax. I'm gonna mix up my Coke and all my juicy stuff. Hey dude, this is like a Juicy Lucy, huh? Have you ever taken bread under the juice of your steak and sopped it up? And do like a Juicy Lucy burger where you put 2 patties together.
It's pretty juicy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's gonna be comments on that.
Okay, you know what? There will be.
Cut right into this. Look how juicy it is. Look at the pool of, look at that. That's great. This did a great job. That's a lot of juice. It was just so juicy and I was salivating and anyway, what are you gonna do?
It's juicy.
We love juicy. It looks like the moisture's just bottled up inside. I can't explain it, but look how flaky. Look at that.
Look how juicy it is.
I know.
If you want to have it tender, if you want to have it juicy, definitely brine it.
That's right. It's how you stuff your burger, like Juicy Lucy's.
But it's all great. The meat was nice and juicy and flavorful.
Wow. That's juicy. There you go. We're doing Juicy Lucy's. We're going to do some Juicy Lucy's on the T-Fowl Opti-Grill.
2 patties put together kind of like a Juicy Lucy, and he came out and told us he got his idea from the Juicy Lucy, and his kids named it Jumbo and Delicious, so.
We're going to take a look, and we're going to cook a frozen turkey to done. We're going to let it set and see how juicy it gets. Really juicy and moist. So Fat Juicy Taco over there on Main Street in Hendersonville. And then I'm going to take all the juicy goodness, and I'm going to pour it right into this pan. And I'm sure there'll be a bunch of you going, oh, it's pink. No, it's just juicy. Ham, salty, juicy. Look at this. That's how juicy it is. Look at that, right there. They're mega juicy. But I think she's doing a Juicy Lucy American burger, I think. She may not have done it like a Juicy Lucy. I have no idea. I haven't seen the video yet. Look at that. Beautiful. See that? Moist, juicy, gorgeous. Look how juicy that is. I'm not even going to squeeze. Well, all right, I'm going to squeeze a little bit. Look. I mean, you can see the juice pulling right at the bottom here. Look at that. And then the juicy stuff comes out the bottom. They're pickles. Get the fried pickles. They're plump and juicy. Now, I'm looking for tangy, I'm looking for juicy, and I'm looking for perfect seasoned batter.
No trickery. Look how juicy these are.
It's juicy, juicy, juicy. Moist and plump, juicy. Oh, man. Crunchy on the outside, juicy, tender, warm shrimp on the inside. Chicken breast is moist, crunchy on the outside, juicy on the inside. So let's give it a try right now. Juicy. Oh, it's dripping all over me. It just dripped on my pants. I don't know what's dripping. I didn't expect anything to be juicy.
The turkey's really good. It's juicy, so I like the turkey a lot.
All right. Wow, it's juicy. It's tender. I promise you, if he gets it on his shirt, I'll film it.
So juicy.
Yeah? Not as tender as I'd like it.
No, but it is very juicy.
But man, it is gushing everywhere. All right, so that's a big green egg. The meat, it could be the meat. Bought it at Sam's Club. Not as tender as I'd like it, but man, it's juicy. It's probably one of the juiciest briskets I've done on the show.
How moist and juicy.
So when I take a bite, oh, it's so juicy, so wet. And perfect. Look at that. Look how juicy it is. You can see where the butter is. Outside's crispy. Inside is as juicy as ever. It's so juicy, it's leaking out everywhere. But the meat is so tender and juicy. This blows away my wood. Nice and juicy and moist. Let's give that a try.
Longer, they're a little bit juicy, so.
Very juicy. Oh my God, it's so good.
Very juicy.
Good cut of meat. Broke down really easy. Very juicy.
Teriyaki and the steak and the fat panda was moist, juicy, and very flavorful. But it's juicy, moist, good. The ingredients are fresh.
So we got jumbo crab, and we're gonna see what it's like, see if it's comparable to juicy seafood. All right, guys, so here's the deal. All right, juicy seafood, storming crab. The story continues with this thing is so juicy. When I pulled the thermometer out, it shot me. It got all over my shirt. You'll see in the pan right here. There's juice running everywhere. This thing is so juicy. I can't wait to cut into it. How moist that is? That is unbelievably moist. That is real juicy. That is that's a real tender. Here you go. This is the Cajun ones, the Slap Your Mama. They're juicy. It was the most perfect brisket. It was juicy. It was tender. It was only $40 at Sam's.
It's just an amazing, juicy burger.
The chicken tenderloins that I had were amazing. They were tender, juicy. There was a puddle of juice and seasoning on my plate. It was so juicy. Halfway through, I stopped eating barbecue sauce because there was so much juice and flavor. Some of the juiciest ribs I've ever tried. Look how juicy this is. It's dripping all over the plate. You can't even see it. Get your favorite meat. But, you know, a rib roast works great. Juicy, I would do. Briskets can be dry. I've always had problems with briskets. Ribeye is good, and let it rest in tinfoil, and it will be super juicy. There you go. Listen to Alex. Oh, yeah. Way impressed. Those are juicy. When you bite into a mushroom, it just gushes juice. The wings were tender and fat and juicy. The cauliflower inside's moist, juicy. Guaranteed juicy meat. If you've ever cut up a pulled pork, they're pretty juicy and they're pretty greasy, and you know everything kind of runs off, but we're not seeing any runoff. Sure, what would be juicy enough meat-wise? Ribs, ribeye. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm gonna be reusing Q Daddy for Thanksgiving because I know I'm getting juicy there. I know it's gonna be. I'm gonna inject that turkey, man, and there's gonna be juice everywhere.